Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm showing you how to make this delicious, off the chain, mouth watering Johnny bread. It is really that good. Definitely give this recipe a try. As usual, everything will be listed for you in the description box. We're starting off with our all-purpose flour, our sugar, nutmeg, baking powder, and salt. And then I'm going to grab a whisk to mix all of my dry ingredients together. When everything is nicely mixed in together, I'm now going to add in my wet ingredient. So I'm adding here my melted butter, vegetable oil, and egg. This Johnny bread here requires some arm work. It is supposed to be a dough, so you can use your hand at some point, but this is very messy, so I prefer to just use a flexible spatula. So I'm going to mix everything in as much as I can. Now I'm adding in my Carnation milk. When I add in my milk, I add a little bit at a time. So you add a little bit of milk, like you saw that I just did here, and now you mix in all of the dough, okay? Because this is supposed to be a dough. It's Johnny bread, but it's not going to be like a hard dough, like if you were making cookies or like an actual bread, like loaf bread. It's going to be like a softer dough. What I'm trying to say is you want the consistency to not be as loose as a cake batter would be, but you also don't want it to be too firm as a actual loaf bread would be. So it has to be in between. And if you keep watching, you'll see exactly what I mean. So I'm going to keep incorporating the liquid into my dough until we have a nice, soft, firm dough like this. I'm using a 8-inch round glass pan because I don't have a standard loaf pan, but this should be done in a standard loaf pan. So I'm going to be spraying the pan with some Baker's Joy. If you don't have Baker's Joy or a baking spray, you can use your original old school classic. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Wait, okay? So you just use some butter and then you coat the pan with flour so that it doesn't burn. It works each and every time. But of course, the spray makes life a lot easier. So now I'm going to scoop in my dough into the pan. This recipe, you don't have to let it sit in the fridge or anything to firm up. I just kindly put it right into the pan. And then you want to, because of course the dough is nice and soft, you want to spread it out as much as you can. The more time you take during this process to spread out everything, the more evenly it will cook. If you don't take your time to spread it out in the pan, it may not cook evenly. If you're using a loaf pan, I'm almost certain this can make two Johnny breads. So you can put it into two loaf pans. I'm almost certain, but don't quote me on that. Because to be honest with you guys, I've never purchased a loaf pan. Every time I make my Johnny bread, I always make it in whatever pan I have on hand. So you see guys, I'm nicely smoothing it out so that I can get a even bake. And then I'm going to just kind of like shake the pan around and make sure that everything is evenly spread out into the pan. Now we're gonna bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. When you get to about 30 minutes of the baking process, you can lightly brush butter on top of your bread. That is going to make it taste even more delicious. And when it comes out of the oven, you definitely want to brush a little bit more butter on top of your Johnny bread. And this is what it looks like. Okay, it didn't come out 100% perfect in looks because of course you can see it's cracked a little bit. I could have did a better job while spooning it. That's why I said you have to take your time. But honey, don't be fooled by the looks. This Johnny bread is so delicious, guys. I'm cutting into it while it's super, super hot because I know how good it is and I just want my piece right now. But do not do this. Let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes before you cut into it. And that way everything will be in one stable piece. But guys, this Johnny bread is so good. It's moist. It's like very light. It tastes so amazing. Definitely give this recipe a try. If you want to make some chicken sauce with this, I have the best chicken sauce recipe. I'll link it above and below for you guys. Give this recipe a try. Come back and let us know in the comment section, how did it work out for you? Do you make your Johnny bread any way different than I'm making it here? Let me know in the comment section because I love hearing from you guys. If you guys enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to give us that thumbs up. And you are more than welcome to stick around by subscribing to our channel and hang out in the kitchen with us where we have a lot of more great, delicious recipes to share with you. Bon appétit!